What's your I can't believe other people don't do this hack? Story 1. I hate cleaning, but whenever I leave a room, I try to take something with me. It might be a piece of garbage, a dish, or an item that needs to be put away. It goes a long way to keeping things tidy without any real effort. Story 2. I keep one of those dish cleaning wands you fill with soap in my shower. It's filled with Dawn soap and vinegar. I scrub my shower walls and tub, basically every other shower, just while I'm in there. It takes less than 2 minutes and I never have to clean my tub shower otherwise. About 2 weeks will do a Comet tub clean scrub, but I can't even tell a difference. It's mostly just for peace of mind. Story 3. Rinsing your dishes and tableware immediately after use when the food gunk is still wet and washes away easily, rather than waiting for it to become cement. Story 4. I have a keyboard shortcut on all my devices where automatically enters my email address. Edit on an iPhone, you set it up by going to Settings, General High, Keyboard, Text Replacement. Story 5. I can't motivate myself to clean long periods, so I've recently started playing turn-based, or periodic games. At the end of every turn, I'll get up and do 5 minutes of cleaning. Then I can spend a day off playing games, but the house gets tidier instead of worse. Story 6. Buy her just because flowers. Seriously, apology gifts always have the stank of the original mistake all over them. Just because gifts actually make her smile every time she looks at them and not think of the dumb thing I did. Edit. Because apparently you can't talk about a nice thing you do without people attempting to make you feel like for no good reason. This post is not gender exclusive or exclusive to just your partner. I can't believe I'm typing this. Story 7. Do I need or do I want? If I need it, I get it. If I want it, I wait for a few weeks, do some research, see if I can fit it in, and if I still want it a month or two later, then I might go get it. Turns out my wants are not always there after a while waiting. It's new for me but has changed my mindset drastically. Story 8. Put salt and pepper on their burger patties. I swear I have the same conversation every time I host a cookout. Your burgers always taste so good. Salt and pepper. How did you learn to make them? I put a little salt and pepper on them before cooking. I could never get my burgers to taste right. Have you tried salt and pepper? Edit. Okay, this resonated with Redditors more than I expected. Thanks for all your tips. Rest assured that I have tried all of them. Garlic powder, onion powder, various pre-made spice mixes, olive oil, Worcestershire sauce. I even put an egg in a batch once because someone said it would hold them together better. I like salt and pepper on fresh beef. Obviously, it comes down to personal preference, but I find simple recipes are often the best. Story 9. Do favors for tomorrow you. Car getting low on gas? Do tomorrow you a favor and get it on the way home. It's almost bedtime, but there are dishes in the sink. Do them as a favor to your future self. While you're at it, get tomorrow's clothes together and get your lunch packed when you're not rushed. Tomorrow you will love you for it. And when today you is enjoying all the things that yesterday you did to make your life easier, remember to thank yourself for doing it. I know it sounds silly, but this really helped motivate me in getting stuff done promptly instead of at the last moment. Story 10. Using sturdy trash bags in camping and outdoor activities. It's the most advanced, cheap material there is. You can use it as backpack liner, as rain cover, as poncho, as sitting pad, can transport water with it. Use it as extra shopping bag. It's so versatile and so lightweight. And more sturdy construction-grade trash bags are not that loud and quiet sturdy. Story 11. When handing someone their change, give them the coins before the bills. This allows them to hold the coins in their palm while using their fingers for the bills. Otherwise, they have to do this careful balancing act before they pocket the money. Story 12. 5-min rule. If it takes less than 5 min, do it right when you think about it. Flip laundry. Respond to an email you left in the inbox. Load dishwasher. Change that bulb in the vanity you've been looking at forever, etc. Story 13. I use Ziploc bags in my junk drawer. It's not organized. It's just a handful junk-filled bags. It makes looking through the junk easier. Instead of shifting through a bunch of junk and loose items, I'll pick up a bag and inspect it for something I'm looking for. Junk bags inside a junk drawer. Story 14. For household essentials, buy more than you need right away. Example. I have 2 packs of toilet paper rolls. One is now, and I store it in the bathroom. The other is later, and I store it in a closet. When now is empty, I get out later. Later becomes the new now, and next time I go shopping, I buy a replacement later. That way, I very rarely run out of anything. Story 15. When tech stops working and you need to turn it off and back on again, turn it off. And always wait 10-15 seconds or more before turning it back on. This allows the capacitors inside holding the memory bits to fully discharge, and it allows the device to fully reset fresh. Story 16. Storing things in airtight containers. I spent a lot of money on mine, so I get why people can't do it, but I've moved a lot and some of the places had bugs, which I've been able to prevent carrying along with me. Honestly, I was pretty poor when I started doing this. Bought stuff bit by bit. Story 17. High yield savings account. Interest for your money to just sit there and doesn't cost a dime. I freeze leftover coffee in ice cube trays. That way, when I make iced coffee, it doesn't get watered down, just stays strong and delicious as it melts. Story 18. Sharpen their knives. Shiverer edit to add. Another of my pet peeves. SHARP scissors. Easy to hone. But you need a whetstone. No angles. Just blade, flat along the stone and hone, till the whole surface shows new metal. BTW. In one of my trips abroad while visiting my friend's family in India, I learned in that one afternoon I saw it happen right in front of my eyes. A professional knife sharpener came to the door and sharpened all the iron knives on a belt sander attached to his bicycle. As a teen, my mind was blown. What? There are cultures that don't use dull knives. Story 19. I see people doing wild mental math trying to figure out tips. If you move the decimal one place to the left, you have 10 double that for 20. Divide it by 2 and add it to the original number for 15. You can get 1 by moving the decimal 2 to the left and multiply that by any number to get that percentage. Edit, people. No need to get so aggressive. It's a math tip that helps me. I'm not telling you how to tip or even commenting on tipping in society. Just math. When you're cleaning up goopy stuff that can't be absorbed, use 2 flat, stiff things like the edge of 2 pieces of cardboard and literally scoop it up. I am stunned at how many people I see try to clean up something like egg yolks or spaghetti sauce with a mop or a broom. Story 20. If you are going to use fresh herbs in a recipe, rosemary, thyme, oregano, etc., bloom them first. Get the pan up to temp. Add either your oil or some butter. Once it's hot or melted, throw in the herbs. Once you can smell them, takes about 45 sec to a min, add the rest of your ingredients. Story 21. I started walking 20,000 steps a day about 3 months ago now, and I feel amazing. I've missed roughly 2 to 4 days a month since starting, but I've also had some days as high as 30K steps, so it all equals out. Movement, in any form, seems to wildly improve my life. I hope others find the same. Story 22. Okay, it's weird and lazy, but follow me. I only take showers, but I plug the drain for the first majority of the time. I put Epsom salts and scented stuff in the bottom. As I'm showering, I soak my feet. When I rinse, I remove the plug and wash my feet as it all goes down the drain. Story 23. Well, this is probably dumb, and maybe just for older people. I have an unreasonable amount of prescription meds. The bottles, of course, essentially all look alike. And since I'm 68, my eyesight is. So, I write an abbreviation on the top of the medcap Sharpie or plastic marker. Like A for antibiotic. So I don't have to pick up every bottle every time to squint at the 4-point font on the label. Story 24. I've rented so many cars over my lifetime because I love to travel. Don't rent at the airport. They are the most expensive rates you'll find in the city. Find the smallest rental location in the city. Reserve a subcompact online for a cheap rate. When you show up at the location, they won't have the car and you'll get a free upgrade. If you need a specific car, rent at the airport. They have the highest selection. Talk to your insurance agent, but if you currently have full coverage, it could extend to the rental. If it's excluded, you can buy rental coverage on the cheap from your agent. The damage waiver and insurance from the rental agency is expensive, way more than you would spend from your agent. The insurance benefit offered from Visa is worthless. You will spend the better part of a year trying to collect. All the while, the Visa administrator will find ways they don't have to pay. Take a short 20-second video of the car when you pick it up. Just walk around it. That way you can document any previous damage. Story 25. It's not that impressive, but as a kid living with parents, we had a day dedicated to cleaning, usually a Saturday or Sunday. And it meant I couldn't go out with friends or anything like that because I was cleaning. Now, I'm an adult. I know I can just do 10 mins every day and get on with my life, lol. You'll never understand taking a whole day to clean. What a bore. Story 26. Set timer for washer and dishwasher to run in the middle of the night when a hard freeze is expected. Keeping the water moving help avoid frozen pipes. Story 27. Rinsing dishes before you put them in the sink so it doesn't reek like rotten food. Loading dishwasher up as you use dishes to prevent pileups in sink. I'm the only one who cleans in my household. It's infuriating. Story 28. Only ever buy on kind of socks, that way I never have to match them after the wash. Just throw them all in the drawer. And if one gets hole in it, you don't need to throw out the pair. Just throw it away and stock up on more of the same sock when running low. I really hate folding socks. Story 29. If I finish a roll of toilet paper and there isn't a replacement, I put the empty roll on the closed toilet lid so the next person has to physically move it and recognize the roll is empty before they go. Did it at a small coffee shop where my friend had already told the employee they were running low and it blew people's minds. Story 30. Keyboard shortcuts. I'm baffled by people who work with a keyboard day in and day out, and I never see them using the ingenious shortcuts. Here are some shortcuts besides cutting and pasting. Tab moves you to the next input box or selectable link. Shift Tab 2 for the previous box. Home and End keys move your cursor to the end of line sentence. Use this in combination with Shift, Shift Home, and Shift End. You can highlight entire lines of text. And this one is my favorite, Ctrl Shift Left Right. You can highlight word by word. You can also avoid using Shift to jump the cursor word by word. Ctrl Left Right. To add on to that last one, you use Ctrl Backspace or Delete to delete word by word. Save yourself time and the arthritis. Learn the keyboard. If on Windows and have shortcuts on your taskbar, you can press Super Windows key 1 to 9 and you will open the first, second, third, etc. application you have on your taskbar, whichever is first, second, and so on, respectively. Story 31. If you don't know how to do something, Google it. I'm a software engineer, and the number of computer problems my friends and family bring to me that I literally just Google for them is too high. Story 32. Are you in a state where plastic bags are banned or cost money at the grocery store? Screw bags altogether. I bring the cart to my car and unload the groceries into a laundry basket in the trunk, which I then bring inside and unload when I get home. Skips bagging and unbagging entirely, takes one trip to bring it all inside, uses no plastic, and costs zero. Story 33. I cancel my streaming subscriptions immediately after starting them so they run out after a month. If I'm still using them in a month, I renew. If not, I don't pay for something I'm not using. Story 34. When you've eaten half a bag of chips and you have to reach your arm and up to your elbow to get anything, cut the top of the bag off so you don't have to reach in as far. Story 35. It's not a big one by any means, but anytime I listen to videos on my phone at home, I put it in a cup to make it louder because the sound vibration bounces off of the cup, and it actually makes it louder. If you don't have a cup, you can put it against the wall. It's the same concept. Story 36. Get a credit card with good rewards and use it for everyday purchases, then immediately pay down your credit card every week or so to avoid interest rates. My husband and I almost exclusively use our credit card and have been able to use the points to book flights, rental cars, hotels, spa services, lots of things we wouldn't normally splurge on. Story 37. Tasting their food as they're cooking it. I thought everyone knew this, but after spending several camps with a variety of different people, I was proven wrong. Story 38. Yield to faster traffic so that people can't tailgate you. Stop getting so mad that people are riding your when you won't get over and allow them to pass. You don't get to about something you have direct control over and just choose not to do. Story 39. Add pasta water to your beaten egg yolk, and parmesan mix before adding to your carbonara. Do it slowly and whisk the mix well each time, then add to the hot pasta off heat and work it through. Seems obvious to me, but all my friends say their carbonara is always scrambled egg pasta with bacon bits in it. Story 40. Buy a robot mop and vacuum cleaner. It runs every night and cleans the lower floor. When you come downstairs in the morning, you always have a clean floor. Story 41. Using a mask in the airplane. Keeps your throat humid and you don't have to smell the farts of other passengers, especially when you use some mint spray or something on your mask. Story 42. Keep a physical road atlas in your car at all times. If you don't know how to read one, start learning ASAP. Your phone could get stolen, lost, or you could be in an area with no cell service, which also applies to the GPS feature in newer cars. Story 43. The power of it all in a frying pan and throw in a sauce meals. I eat home-cooked meals almost daily, and often get asked how I have the time, energy, and money. I'm just smart about it. Every time I cook, I get at least 3 individual meals out of it. There's so many recipes that lend themselves to freezing for long periods of time. Making a batch of cookie dough? Double it. Freeze the other half in a long tube to cut up and bake. Curries, chilies, pasta sauces, stews, and stir-fries are a lazy, low-fund cook's best friend. You can't tell vegetables are frozen when they've been fried or cooked down in a sauce or simmered. There are also recipes that lend themselves well to the addition of chickpeas, lentils, beans, etc., which are very cheap and high sources of protein and fiber. Sauces are also generally very cheap and deal with most of the flavor profile for those who aren't proficient cooks. You can also pair them with anything: baked potato, fries, rice, quinoa, pasta. It in a wrap. The possibilities are endless. I turn on my blinker and check my mirrors before I change lanes. I can't believe people don't know this simple hack. Story 44. A dash of salt in your morning coffee, along with your sugar and cream. The salt doesn't make it taste salty, it just makes the flavor pop. Now, anytime I have a cup of Joe without salt, it just tastes so flat. Story 45. Mine is using vehicle brokers. Apparently, people who have heard about it just assume it's for rich people buying sports cars. My wife and I just used one for the first time for her new car. He found us the exact same car we were looking for $200 cheaper a month and 1,000 less down payment edit. Also for the same amount of time financing. Story 46. Sharpening their knives. The sheer amount of people I've seen trying to cut something with a knife as sharp as circle never ceases to amaze me. It's so much more dangerous and to deal with. Learn how to use a whetstone or call a pro out once every few months. Story 47. I was surprised to find that many people don't realize that in the US you can still use antennae to watch local stations. Just go to settings and search for digital channels. I remember even back when it was announced that all TV broadcasts would switch from analog to digital, people were buying digital tuners but weren't aware that even then, many newer models already had digital tuners built in. Now, I get the sense that people feel they're dependent on streaming services or cable satellite. If you're just trying to watch a game or catch a debate on a local channel, you can still watch it in your TV. Story 48. Fold their laundry right when they take it out of the dryer before starting a new load so you don't let it pile up. If I'm not ready to fold it, I don't take it out of the dryer. Story 49. Drink water. I know so many people who don't like the taste of plain water because all they drink is soda-flavored drinks. Water is delicious, and if they stopped or cut down on the flavored stuff, maybe they'd be able to appreciate plain water. And if you're trying to up your water intake, I 100 recommend getting a bottle with a straw or sippy spout. My water intake tripled when I swapped my Nalgene for a Stanley, especially during the workday. Story 50. Just rub the plastic produce bags at the grocery store and they open up. I cringe every time I watch people struggle to open them up when it's just a simple pinch and rub the top of the bag, and it opens up easily. Story 51. Store your eye drops in the fridge. It's perfect for allergy season when your eyes are burning and you need something nice and cool to make it all better. Story 52. It's probably already posted, but just in case. Percentages are reversible. 10 of 20 is the exact same as 20 of 10. This helps a ton if you're in a job that requires rapid mental calculations. Story 53. Drying off while standing in the shower tub. I remember when I first had roommates in college and finding the bathroom soaked and asking how this could happen. They were dumbfounded when I explained that they could just bring the towel with them into the shower after they were done. Story 54. Salt the water. You're going to boil pasta in and salt it well. Salt the entire steak at least an hour before you're going to cook it and leave it lightly covered on the counter. Salt your eggs when you put them in your pan. Salt, salt, salt. Story 55. Pour grease from the skillet into an empty tin can, which then goes in the freezer. When full, toss it away and start a new collection. So much better than calling the plumber multiple times per year because you haven't learned the hot grease poured down the kitchen sink doesn't just wash away. Story 56. Put a permanent grocery list in your cell phone's notes field. Things you buy often but not every single time. Things you need to have in stock but don't always remember. If you think you might have forgotten something, check it. Story 57. Cooking your bacon in the oven on a sheet pan. There's virtually no mess. It doesn't splatter all over your kitchen and you can cook much more, much quicker. Story 58. I'm surprised more women don't shop for clothing basics in the men's section. It obviously doesn't work for every body type, but men's socks are so much better and warmer than the ones in the women's section. Men's t-shirts are made of thicker fabric. Men's sweaters and hoodies are so thick and comfortable. I buy all my comfy clothes from the men's section. Story 59. Keep a little box of Kleenex in the kitchen. Use it for a little messes, wipes, picking things up. It's a whole lot cheaper and less wasteful than grabbing a paper towel every time. Story 60. I saw a meme of this and it has stuck with me. For decluttering, instead of doing the Marie Kondo, does this spark joy? I ask myself, if I got on this, would I try to wash it off or throw it away? Story 61. Got little kids, toddlers, babies? Keep a bucket of water and OxiClean laundry detergent handy for soiled clothes. Change it every few days. Helps keep the stains from setting. Story 62. Put salt on the ketchup instead of all over the fries. You get the salt right where you want it with each bite, your fingers don't get covered in salt. Win-win. Story 63. Whoever cuts the cake, pizza, etc. is the last to pick a piece. Prevents a lot of sibling disputes as the person dividing the food has the incentive to make the division as fair as possible. Story 64. Putting the measuring cup for liquid laundry detergent in the washing machine with the clothes. It gets washed and no soap is left on it. So many people take the cap to the sink to wash it and replace. Story 65. If you have a car payment and then finish paying it off, keep paying the same amount into a savings account every month. You're already used to not having that money, and then by the time you need to buy a new car, you can do it in cash. Story 66. Prepaid cell phone plan. My wife and I bought our iPhones unlocked last time from Costco, and our monthly bill is $70 including taxes. My plan is 15G by 35, hers is unlimited 30. We don't have to pay the ridiculous monthly access fee with a post-paid plan that you're on the hook for even after your phone installments are paid off. Story 67. Leave a sponge in the shower and clean one wall or surface each time you take a shower. Stops it from being a big task all at once. Bring my own pillowcase to hotels. Other overnight stays. Fold it inside out so that the part you put your face on stays clean. Get some collapsible silicone food containers. I love this one. I originally bought them for travel, so they are great for trips when space is scarce. Keep snacks when you're done, you just collapse it down to about an inch tall. Bring them to restaurants so you can save some food for later back at the hotel hostel. And take them on a cruise so you can fill them up at the buffet to have something to eat in your room later. Using a handheld fan to dry your skincare or makeup setting spray. I only use freshly clean hands to apply skincare, so one hand can use the fan and the other stays clean for moisturizer. Make your grocery list in the order that you will walk through the store. In my Aldi, for example, the layout goes bread, fruit, veg, cheese, meat, frozen, dairy. I make my list in that exact order and grab everything respectively as I walk through. Story 68. Plug in a device charger in every room you spend extended amounts of time in kitchen, bathroom, bedroom, living room, etc. I always forget to bring one with me, so now I have one in every room I frequent. Put keys, gloves, hats, umbrellas, all your out-the-door forgettable things on a shelf or furniture by the door, all in one place. If you carry a satchel, purse, or whatever, some great essentials to pack are your obvious things, keys, wallet, and so on, but also device charger, portable charging battery, cash for emergency taxi bus, a handkerchief travel pack of tissue, Ziploc baggie, hand sanitizer, and earplugs. Yes, earplugs. Screaming babies are everywhere. When it comes to flights and bus rides, your sanity will thank you. When visiting remote cities and other places with public transit, avoid Uber, taxi, and car rentals if you can. Taking local transit will save you hundreds of S. If traveling abroad, take a Megabus FlixBus USA. Not available in all cities to save big time. It's far cheaper than taking a train or flight, albeit super annoying and time-consuming. I visited a friend 250 miles away for 25 round trip, but if you can get a good deal on flights, go for it. And take earplugs for screaming kids. Buying books through Abe Books is cheaper than buying at big retail stores, and the shipping is often cheaper than the book itself. I recently bought a cookbook for $3, and the shipping was like $1.50. If you have a local used bookshop or library, then go there. Obviously, Lowell if your knees bother you. Spend on a good pair of knee braces, such as Nienka brand. I survived a car wreck last year that me up, and wearing those braces for a few months made a huge difference in my daily life. A good, sturdy knee brace goes much further than cheapo ones, but work with what you have access to. Lol, my favorite cooking tool is the humble tomato corer. Ike about you, but using a knife to core a tomato pisses me off. Corers make life so much easier. If you're using a recipe that calls for cooking and reducing milk for an extended amount of time like 40 minutes, according to some recipes, try swapping it out with half and half or cream. It will cut your cooking time down significantly. Took my 40-minute milk recipe down to 10 minutes. LOL USA. If you're applying for disability on your own and run into many barriers, look up a disability attorney who takes payment on approval. They will take their payment on your dispersal, usually a percentage. And if you do not get approved, they won't take a payment at all. MV. Ask them about how they charge. I mention this because disability in America is designed to deny people in need. It's complicated to navigate, and clinics like mine will often trick you into thinking you do not qualify. Clinics do not approve or deny disability claims. That is up to the court. It's a dirty trick, and this stuff messes up many people who need help. If you or a loved one are on Medicare and cannot live independently, check with the case manager about getting caregivers. Yes, even friends and family members can qualify to become paid caregivers. This varies depending on where you live. Where I live, caregivers are paid by the state, and we have paid training and many benefits. We have a union that really helps out a ton. Plus, the training you get, medicine administration, first aid, CPR, etc., are transferable skills in a field with chronic worker shortages. It's hard but rewarding work. Volunteering for charity work looks fantastic on a resume and will give you an edge with job hunting. Hiring managers eat that up, and you can do a lot of good for your community. If you do not have a degree, you can get training and certifications online for cheap in the field you want to work in. While it's not a degree, it at least shows your hiring manager that you are trying to build your skills and prepare for that field of work. Story 69. Having multiple sheets. I have 3 to 4 sheet sets. Every Sunday, we strip the bed and put already clean sheets on immediately. Then I don't have to worry about rushing to clean the other sheets right away. Story 70. Regular old grocery store ribeye steak on a cast iron or stainless skillet. Remove from fridge and salt it a few couple hours before cooking. Then add pepper, garlic salt, and seasoned salt. Preheat skillet on med-high heat. Add avocado oil. Hold the steak upright, cooking the fatty edge for 1 min first. Then, just 5 min aside for medium rare, 2 min if it's a thick steak. Right before flipping, add butter and garlic to pan and baste the steak. No need for sear or reverse sear in oven unless it's a really thick steak. Prep plus cooking takes less than 10 minutes, and it tastes better than a 75 steak at a nice restaurant. My wife refuses to go to a restaurant for a steak because it's expensive and never lives up to the ribeye steaks we make at home. I feel like I found some sort of cheat code. Story 71. Salad dressings are so easy and cheaper to make at home, less waste, and you can adjust them to your liking. OMW to the grocery store for salad dressing ingredients. Story 72. Tired of coffee running down the side of the coffee pot when you pour? Rub a small amount of cooking oil onto the underside of the pour spout. Works on most pitchers for most drinks. Just have to occasionally reapply, including obviously anytime you wash it. Story 73. Eat healthy, feel good, eat, feel like. When you are young, you can eat poorly and feel good, but it comes back to haunt you. Learn to eat lots of veggies and fruit, less red meat. It's the best thing you can do for both your physical and mental health. Story 74. When you're trying to get into a homeless shelter, they'll likely be full. That's not the hack. But if you ask to be put on the waiting list early in the morning and come back 30 minutes to an hour from bed, check the shelter can tell you when that is. Then wait until after bed. Check is complete. You will likely have a bed. What most people don't know is that beds become available at shelters almost every day due to people getting kicked out. The reasons can range from getting kicked out due to drugs or violence, missing bed check, or just getting booked out due to the shelter not being able to justify keeping you, most likely because you haven't shown any reason to, such as looking for a job. For the best results, look up when your local Welfare Ontario works for those living in Ontario is paid out. Lots of addicts and alcoholics will be out having benders, so their beds will be empty. Story 75. Carry a towel in my vehicle for emergency or odd situations. My mother once used hers to cover a hawk while she freed it from a wire fence. She also used it another time drenched in water when she overheated at work. She advised me to always bring a towel. It's not just good advice for galactic hitchhikers. Story 76. I know how long it takes the turntable to go around in the microwave and use it when I put in the time. Want to heat a mug of liquid? Use 2:07 instead of 2 minutes, and the handle will be right there when you reach in to get it. Story 77. Use an ad blocker for sake. I will never understand how most of you are out there just raw dogging ads all day, every day. I've gotten to the point where the only ads I encounter are on billboards. What the is wrong with you people? How do you allow this trash to infest your lives? Story 78. How to cheat hack. Listen, I've been using this method for years and I never got caught. I've also noticed that some of the head TAs and smart kids also cheat their way through with this method. If you follow these easy steps, nobody will ever notice. First, go to every lecture and make a cheat sheet. During the lecture, don't waste your time fiddling with your phone. Stay focused. Next, go to discussion and really refine that cheat sheet. For everybody else, it will look like you're just taking notes. Now here comes the sneaky part. Approximately 2 weeks before the exam, gather all the cheat sheets you made and hide it in your brain. If your brain is too small for all the cheat sheets, try to split the notes into pieces and try to put them in bit by bit. It is also important that if your brain is full, go to bed and let it digest for 7 to 8 hours, and you're good to go again. I promise you, it worked every time and nobody will ever notice and you'll get easy as. Story 79. When I go through TSA at the airport, I just grab my stuff after the scan and walk like 10-20 feet to a bench to put on my shoes and stow the laptop, etc. Drives me nuts to watch people basically camp out at the conveyor to get fully redressed and repacked, etc., blocking everyone else. Pick up your and move. It's the same as stopping at the bottom of an escalator. Everyone else is coming down too, GTFO the way. Story 80. Communicate when they have a problem. The amount of people I had met who think just ghosting someone because you are mad at them or acting like into them until they leave you, just so you don't look like an is staggering. Story 81. If I want to get someone a gift, I ask them for a recommendation for a massage spa or restaurant, shopping, etc. they love in their area. I make note of it, and that's their gift come B-Day or holidays. Story 82. It's not even a hack wringing towels, like for wiping a counter or something. No, you do not dunk it in soapy water, ball it up, and squeeze it gently in your fist. It is still dripping. Do not wipe a thing with that, unless you intend to do another pass to sop up the water and get the surface close to dry again. You fold it end to end and twist it till the water's out. I work in a coffee shop. It's painfully obvious which of my coworkers have never done a single chore in their life. Story 83. I wear my vacuum cleaner on my back like a backpack, so it frees me up for easier maneuvering. I'm in the UK, and I have a cylinder vacuum cleaner which is shaped like a backpack anyway, with a hose coming out of the top part in case anyone doesn't know what that is. Our house is old, with uneven floors and many different obstacles. Almost every room in the house is on a different level. One step down from the living room to the dining room, another step down to the kitchen, half a step from living room to hallway, one step down from stair landing into bedroom. So a robot vacuum isn't really a viable solution. I just attached a couple of old belts through the handle at the top, so I can strap it on my back like I'm going hiking, and off I go. I can do the whole admittedly quite small house using only 3 plug power sockets, and I don't have to worry about it bashing into the furniture or getting caught on a dining chair or whatever. It has small wheels on casters which you're supposed to use for wheeling it around on the floor, but that's so primitive. They're positioned unobtrusively once I'm wearing it, so it works well for me. Join me, everyone. More like a Ghostbusters proton pack. I'm a middle-aged woman.